welcome back to Lesson 2 in Week 2. In today's lesson, we are going to be going through the definitions from the keywords from yesterday's lesson. We're also going to be finding out about what states of matter mean.
Solid. The particles in a solid are very close together, have a very small amount of energy and can only vibrate. Liquid. The particles in a liquid are very close together, vibrate and change places. Gas. The particles in a gas are very far apart, have a large amount of energy and move very fast. Boiling point. The temperature at which a liquid turns into a gas. Collisions. When particles start to bump into each other, the more collisions, the faster the rate of reaction. Condense. A change of state from a liquid to a gas. Diffusion. The movement of particles in a solid or gas from a concentrated area to a less concentrated area. Energy. Energy can be stored and transferred from place to place. There are many different types of energy, for example heat, light and kinetic. Evaporate. The change of state from a liquid to a gas. Freeze. A change of state from a liquid to a solid. Melt. The change of state from a solid to a liquid. Particle. A tiny piece of matter. Everything is made up of particles. Sublimation. The change of state from a solid to a gas. Now, using the definitions that we have been learning over the past 2 days, what do you think our topic is based on? Have a look at the 3 pictures on the screen. That's right, we're learning about states of matter. An apple is a solid, milk is a liquid, and the helium in a balloon is a gas. Matter and particles. Everything in the universe is made up of the same stuff, and this stuff is called matter. Yep, everything. It doesn't matter what it is made up of matter, even you and me. Matter and particles. All matter is made up of tiny particles. These particles are too small for us to see unless we use a very strong microscope. These particles are like Lego blocks. There are only a limited number of them, but they can be combined in an infinite number of ways to make different structures and objects. There are 3 main ways that these particles can be organized. We call these the 3 states of matter: solid, liquid and gas.
Do you know what water, air, and rocks all have in common? They are made of matter. Matter is something that takes up space. Now, you might be wondering why they all look so different if they are made of the same thing. But the truth is that everything around you is made of matter, just in different shapes and forms. Matter is made of tiny particles called atoms. Matter can be grouped into 3 main states: solid, liquid, or gas. To figure out which state of matter something is in, we need to examine its properties. A property is the way that something is that we can measure. The physical properties we will look at to determine state of matter are shape, mass, and volume. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. Volume is how much space that matter takes up. Solids are easy to recognize. Rocks, apples, pencils, and plants are all examples of solid objects. A solid object has a definite shape that doesn't change when you move it or put it in a container. They also have a consistent mass and volume. This is because the atoms in a solid object are packed closely together, so they do not move around. A solid will change shape only if forced, for instance, if it is broken or smashed. If you look around, you can find many examples of solid objects. Liquid is the next state of matter. Liquids have a definite volume and mass, but they do not have a definite shape. The atoms in liquid are still close together, but unlike the atoms in a solid, they can move around. This allows the matter in a liquid to flow. Because liquids don't have their own shape, they take their shape from their containers. the same amount of liquid may look very different in a glass and spilled on the floor. You can find examples of liquids around you too. Water, milk, and juice are just some of the liquids you might find. The third state of matter is gas. Gases have a definite mass, but they do not have a definite shape or volume. Like liquids, gases take the shape of their containers. Unlike liquids, gases will spread out to completely fill the container they are in. If a gas is not in a container, it will keep spreading out indefinitely. This is because the atoms in a gas are farther apart than atoms in a solid or a liquid, and so they can move freely. The air you breathe is an example of a gas. You might have noticed that you can't really see air. Often, gases are invisible, but they are still there. There are many different types of gases in the Earth's atmosphere, like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, helium, and water vapor. Sometimes matter can change from one state to another. Water is a very good example of this. When water is frozen into ice, it is a solid. When it melts back into water, it is a liquid. When water evaporates into water vapor, it becomes a gas. Matter in all its states is everywhere. See if you can find solids, liquids, and gases around you.
Task 1. Draw a table in your book or in a piece of paper with the 3 columns with the headings solid, liquid, and gas, like the one below. Using the pictures, see if you can put them into the correct section of the table. An extension. Think of some examples of your own and add them to this. Task 2 is to add to your definitions from the keywords and put some symbols next to them to help you to remember them. Remember to write your definitions in your own words to help you to understand. For those of you working from home, remember to upload your work to Tapestry or send it to the Year 4 teacher's email address. Good luck, have fun and keep safe.